And yeah, welcome to the, sorry, I have to do something and open up the work. So that I don't have to take care of this anymore. Okay, should work now. Yeah, welcome to the next session of this social effects of the corona crisis lecture. You already see there is a second picture and somebody moving. It's not just black boxes with white names on them or some profile pictures. I'd like to introduce José from Cartagena. He is an engineer with a very specific field of interest. It's about microwave and telecommunication, and he is working, he will tell you a little bit about himself later on. He is working with institutions like European Space Agency, NASA, and so on, so about satellites and so on. So we'll probably see him sooner or later in Darmstadt as well when he is visiting the ESA, when visiting is again allowed. As you know, probably the European Space Agency has its headquarters in Darmstadt, quite close to our university and the central station. Yeah. What I would like to do first is share my screen twice. I show you a nice video about the Universidad Politécnica de Cartagena. I have to learn Spanish, as I said. So Jose, next time it will be better. And then I have again a few Menti questions. So, and then we start with the lecture. Yes. So I share my screen, and I don't have to forget to give you the sound. And now you should see YouTube. And so, silence here. Yeah. So some will probably say, well, that's lucky ones. They're so close to the sea, and that's something that we miss here. That's for sure. And yeah, but looking at all the labs and what the students are doing, we see quite a few similarities between our institutions. So there are probably lots of options to work together, and for the students who might be interested to go to Cartagena to visit you and your university. And that's nice at this cooperation with in the framework of the European University of Technology. We are still waiting for the result of the European Commission. They said they will send it this week, but I guess it will be next week or July somewhere. Okay, I will now have a second go here, and it's a presentation. I need for the slides on Mentimeter, I need this one. And the code, I put it into the, to write it down a bit, and my memory is bad. 1480 148066. 148066. Put it into the chat. 148066. Just for Menti, there it is, and now I give you the screen. So, a bit about the Corona warning app. So we have it since 8 days, I think. See whether I had a contact with somebody who was infected. I'm still safe. Low risk. So there should be about 10 students more. So it's a very nice tool because you see the voting. That is quite, so we know a lot about it. So most students know it. It's good. Okay, it's probably true. It doesn't solve the problems of the pandemic at all. I don't know, but it helps. I think the data protection really is quite good. There was a picture of the list of apps and allowances of WhatsApp and allowances of the coronavirus warning app. And it's on the one side of WhatsApp, it is about 20 to 25 apps you are connected with in WhatsApp. In Corona, it's just 2 or 3. So it's very separated in your smartphone. And yeah, I think it's an option, even though it's, there's a chat. Yeah. Okay. I have another question. Oh, another slide here. Who download? Okay. That's very even. I think it's about more than 11 million people who already connected to it. And yeah, okay. And another one. Yeah. Where are the answers? We forget to cancel the one. Think of if my interpretation is correct of these results, we on the one hand we still think we are in danger, but nevertheless we don't want to use the Corona One app, whatever is wrong with that one. So that might help in some places. And okay, and the last one. So that's now about Spain. And then it's you.
There is an Spaniard somewhere over here.
So people don't know a lot about the situation in Spain, okay, and not about the Corona situation. Okay, well, you are, oh, in the meantime, you enjoyed freedom again since 5 days.
Yeah.
Okay, I stop here and have a break and give the microphone to Jose. This time he is giving the lecture, looks like from his kitchen. And on Tuesday he was in his camper van, and yeah, was nice. Okay, Jose, thank you for being there. And now it's your turn.
Thank you very much, Bernd. Thank to all the students and the lecturer for participating in this beautiful course. I'm very honored. As you know, I come from Spain, from the Technical University of Spain, which is more particularly in the southeast of Spain. And I'm an engineer. I do microwaves, so I have engineer, have physician, physicist. So basically, it would seem that I'm not very strongly related to, let's say, the more social or psychological part of this issue of the corona crisis. But as you know, this is very multidisciplinary. And when I was invited to give a talk in these classes, I was thinking what I could say about the corona crisis. I'm a citizen. I'm a professor. I'm also a father of 3 kids. I'm a Spanish. So I try to mix all this and also give my vision and some points that I think they might make you think about it. I'm from the Spanish perspective, but this is an individual perspective anyhow. So let me share the slide. Okay. I I want to be sure that you can see the slide. Can you see the slide?
Yep, that's fine.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, well, the introduction about my university is like this. We have sun, we have beautiful places to visit, a lot of history, and very, very nice university, which a good balance between size, and young people, young professors, and close contact. It's very familiar, and a high international level in both teaching and research. So what to say about my university? It's a lovely place to work, and I have the chance to work in many beautiful and important universities. So you are very invited to come. Okay, the course is the social effects of the Corona crisis, and the title of this talk is Spanish Resilience for the True COVID Era, Better Safe Than Sorry in the Sun Country. So I will try to go through the main words of this title. This is the alliance of this European University of Technology Plus. And we are this one, the University Polytechnica of Cartagena, Technical University of Cartagena, which is located, you can see in this map, in Spain. You know very well where Spain is, in Europe. And maybe you don't know where Cartagena is in the southeast, by the sea, by the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, this when I was having a look at the different talks provided by the speakers, by the speakers, there is a different perspectives, as Bernd was explaining, politicians, sociologists, psychologists, economists, a couple of engineers we are also participating here. So I'm going to give an engineer point of view. So I'm going to try to move from feelings and fears to data, but everything is mixed. I really like very much, and I thank you, Bernd, because of this questionnaire you made. It's very nice, the application you use, and the questions that have been highlighted there are quite related to this talk. Please do not hesitate to interrupt me anytime you need me to repeat or you have any question, any doubt. I would love if you interrupt me because of the talk, right? So please do not hesitate to make it. Okay, so again, the title is about Spain. It's about this COVID crisis for sure. Through COVID, because the COVID, as you have chosen, is not eradicated yet at all. You just have to see the data today in the world. The WHO, the World Health Organization, is claiming that it's exponentially growing if you measure the number of people infected and dying in the whole world. And then I say, better safe than sorry in the Sun Country. For sure you know this expression, better safe than sorry. So we will go through it. Okay, so this is a Spain map, and Cartagena belongs to a region called Murcia. And as you see, we are by the sea. And this is a closer look. You can see Cartagena. Maybe you see there, the blue is the sea, the Mediterranean Sea, but you can see also a small lagoon. There is Mar Menor. Mar Menor means the smaller sea. Tuesday, as Bernd explained, I could give my lecture from my motorhome, from my van. I'm a surfer. I like very much the sea, and I have a motorhome to travel with my family and to surf. And it was nice because I could show the students how is the Mar Menor. But anyhow, you can see here a nice picture. You can see the land, and you can see like a sleeve of sand which lies in between two pieces of water, of salty water. The one on the right, is the open sea, the Mediterranean Sea. We call it also the Big Sea. While the lagoon, which is on your left, is what we call Mar Menor, the smaller sea. It's a salty lagoon, and it's a very delicate, fragile environment, ecosystem, right? Where there many species, animals, plants live there, which are endemic, which means that they only exist in this type of ecosystem. Okay, well, this is a small sea, this is a big sea, the Mediterranean Sea, and this is the sleeve of sun. We call it La Manga del Mar Menor. If you come to UPCT, to the Technical University of Cartagena, for sure you will go there. And also from this aerial picture, you can see from here, the three ecosystems lying here. Mar Menor is crystal clear water that with no waves normally, so it's very good for the kids, right? While La Manga, which is dividing these two seas, is very populated. It's a very touristic place full of buildings. So it's very dense because basically it's very narrow, and you have there high buildings. And on the right, you can see the Mar Mayor, the Mediterranean, which can be more wavy. So when I surf for sure with waves on the big sea. Also, here you can see a couple of pictures today, La Manga del Mar Menor today, as I mentioned, full of buildings. While in the 60s, it was only a piece of sand. But Spain suffered or took advantage in the 60s, in the 70s, when we were fighting and moving from dictatorship to democracy, right? To democracy, which was in 75, I believe, yeah. So in the 60s, Spain was starting to open economically, and tourism was one of the main engines that pushed Spanish economy up, right? Because we have sun, we have good weather, nice places to visit, very good food, for sure, you know, paella and all this. Okay, but now this is a picture taken some time ago. You can see in this aerial picture also the following facts. These are the dense building areas, not only in La Manga del Mar Menor, but also in the coastline surrounding the Mar Menor. For sure, people want to live normally as a second house, but also people that their first house, they live in the coast. The coast is an interface, and as any interface between different states of matter or whatsoever, it's beautiful. It's where nice things happen. You know, day is nice, night is nice, but the dawn or the sunrise, the sunset are beautiful. It's where night and day meet. And also this happens also with the sea and the sun. When they both meet, you have animals, plants, fishes, birds, air, you have all there. So it's normal that people want to be in the coast and not in the inside. But also you can see here, all these lands which are brown and green are intensive irrigation agriculture, which means that they need a lot of water to make some plants that are not for dry environment grow. So they need water. Where do they take the water? They take basically from the below earth. You have water springs below earth, and also we try to take water from other parts of Spain, from Spain. But we need water because Murcia is very dry. It rains very rarely. And also in down, you can see some mountains, and they are dark. They are dark because it's metal mining extraction. We get from there silver and different metals, which are important. So all this has an impact on the Mar Menor. And you will see the link between what is happening to Mar Menor and the COVID crisis, because I found a link. And it's that a lot of toxins or different materials are being thrown to this small sea, which is small and maybe cannot handle all this impact. And this is what is happening now from the past few years, and more sadly in the past 2 years. This is a picture taken, I think it was in January, in Mar Menor. There were a lot of strong rains, storms, and something happened that because of all the water running to the Mar Menor, thousands of animals were dying, and it was for many days like this. Very sad. And this is called also eutrophication, which is that because an excessive richness of nutrients are in the water, it makes eventually the water, the lagoon, to lack for oxygen. So if you don't have oxygen, big animals die. Okay, you can look in the internet, you can Google what is eutrophication. It happens in nature as well, but the problem is that here was not a natural eutrophication process, but a cultural eutrophication. So basically, as I mentioned, the lagoon will become very green and a different ecosystem is appearing there with no space to big fishes or to big animals, but only for plants and small bacteria and this type of small animals as well. Okay, so this is not good because we are changing the nature. Changes which are artificial maybe are not wanted. It's better to let nature go its way, isn't it? And basically, more importantly for us, for humans, because the crystal clear water will no longer be there. It will be green in the future with dead fishes, as long as we still have fishes, and then no fishes at all. So it doesn't look a nice future for our loved small sea. What this happened? What has this happened? These are the main reasons that the experts are warning, because it has been warning in the past 3 decades at least. One is the fertilizers used in this intensive agriculture that say these nutrients that change totally the ecosystem. Also the metal mines extraction, iron, silver, mercury. Also the tourism has an impact because of the buildings throw the garbage to the sea. And also because of the water extraction, this irrigation agriculture, and even is full of golf courses. Some of the green courses you see there are golf courses that, you know, they need a lot of water. So they are changing the natural cycle of water and so on. So basically, this is the future of Mar Menor, and apparently we are in a non-turning back point. So we cannot fix it. We have to leave it for the future. And this is a picture taken from a satellite that you can see. The red means the chlorophyll concentration, which means that it's becoming green. Here is false color and it's painted in red, but it means that you can see this red part is the Mar Menor, in the middle is La Manga, and you can see how it's a lot of chlorophyll concentration, which for no doubt is an evidence that something is happening. And you know, this is an exponential process. This is an exponential process, and you don't realize that it's happening until it's too late, okay? So this is a cultural eutrophication process. People are worried now that the effects are evident and are worried about the impact on tourist economy, because maybe many tourists won't come back to Mar Menor because they won't like that much the not so crystal clear water, the green water for their kids to swim there. Are they so much worried about people's health? Okay, and nature health. What is this? What is the health of nature? We are not that worried about nature health. What is nature? Does it have any health? It's not an individual. And another question, do you think they are willing to reduce the intensive agriculture, or to reduce the tourism, or to reduce the industrial intensive activity? No, because there is a trade-off. If you reduce the agriculture, you cannot get the same amount of money from the same land, because the intensive agriculture makes possible to harvest the fruits many times per year. While let's say the conventional agriculture only a couple of times per year or once. So it's not so economically speaking interesting, right? And the same for tourism. Do they really want to reduce the number of tourists? No, less money. And the same for in industry, mining, and other type of industry. So This is somehow related, from my point of view, to what is happening with the COVID crisis. And some of the questions that were pointed out by Bernd, because we want our rights, we want our way of living, and sometimes maybe we don't measure the impact in nature. But nature is not a person. Nature is something very extensive. You cannot talk to nature, can you? Okay, and it's long term. What is nature? Okay. One of the titles that I was thinking for this talk was the following one: Etymology Tales from the Ancients. Human foolishness in the area of smartphones. So we have smartphones, we have apps, we have a lot of technology, but maybe our common sense is being lost. And I'm also drawing something about the ancients. I will go through all these points, okay? So, and etymology also. I like very much etymology and history. I'm an engineer, but I'm a humanist. Okay, so let me draw this question. What would you like to be in your life? I've been told that, okay, you are studying in university, so you are thinking about a nice future. How do you imagine your future? Probably the same as now, but studying less and earning more money, isn't it? So it's, when I was studying, what I wanted to have a nice job, to earn good money, to have time to enjoy with friends, with family, to travel, okay? So, but let me be a bit more to the point. Would you like to live in the countryside, or do you prefer to live in a big city? The countryside probably is boring for most of us. A big city is where big things happen. You cannot compare Manhattan to any small village in the middle of Germany or Spain. Would you like to be a farmer or a rancher? No, you are studying in university to make something else. So probably, I'm not sure, you should answer later, your future plans have more to do with this style of life that has to do with dense cities and this way of living. Okay, so what is happening with the COVID? Why is this happening? Why do you think we have this big problem? Okay, the first answer is evident, because there is a pandemic process here happening with a virus. But I also want you to think about these 3 points: ecology, globalization, and what is a nonlinear natural process that for sure you know in maths, the log function, the exponential function, right? Okay, so these 3 points, let me give you a couple of ideas. Ecology, I believe, and many experts that know much more than me have claimed that the COVID crisis has to do a lot with ecology. So let me just remember you that this first wave is related to Wuhan in China, to a market where some people were there with some animals that shouldn't be there, pangolino and a bat, and so that these animals came from the forest. But why this animal and these people holding these animals were in a big market, in a big city, industrial city? Because maybe this is related to the forest being cut and the people and the animals moving from the natural place to another place, which is an artificial concentration of people, which is a big city as Wuhan. And this makes a big change to happen in no time. So let me, for instance, remember you what happened when we, the Spanish and the Portuguese, went to South America in the 15th century with our bags, with our bacteria, with our virus, and we put in contact our systems with the ones of the aborigines there. There was an abrupt contact because we were separated. South America and Europe was separated by the Atlantic Ocean, and the virus and the bacteria cannot travel through the ocean. they are not, they don't have ships, right? But the people could do that. It took time, but then you put into contact two things that were separated, and this happened. When I traveled to Morocco, I live close to Morocco, and I've been there 7 or 8 times to surf and to visit the country. It's a beautiful country to visit. It happens to me that I'm not used to the water there, and normally I get, constipated, that you have to go to the toilet very often, okay? And this is only because there is a change. And for them, they drink this water, the people in Morocco, and nothing happens. And the opposite also happens. So when you make all these people and this animal to go to the forest, from the forest to the big city, because we are not respecting people are part of nature. We are animals. You are making plants, animals, and people to move from their original place in no time. You are creating a big stress to nature. And because of the second law of Newton, right? Big action, big reaction. So maybe the virus is a big reaction to a big action that is also related to globalization. Because think about it. It happens, this contact in Wuhan, the people get infected by a virus that shouldn't be in Wuhan if it wasn't because of the human action. But moreover, now China has spread its commerce all around the world. So someone that is infected can get infected in Wuhan, go to have lunch to Manhattan, and then have dinner in Sydney in one day with a lot of people. So in no time you spread. So this is even a very challenging situation from the point of view that in the black virus in the 11th century, it took time for the virus to travel with the sailors, with the people that came from China to Europe. It took time, but now in no time you can spread the virus all around the world. This has to do with globalization, and also the impact in ecology has to do with globalization. So I want you to think about all this. And finally, also I want to highlight and I want to address the following point. Our minds are more used to think linearly. 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 2, 8, 8 times 2, 16, 32, and so on. This is a straight line. So when we see something happening, we believe that if it is doubling, every day it's gonna get double. But this doesn't happen in an exponential function or the complementary, the natural logarithm. And they are called natural logarithms. And the natural constant of Euler, of the exponential, because in natural processes, as economic crisis, as a explosion of a virus wave, and many things, the reproduction of rabbits whatsoever, its natural processes are driven by non-linear functions. So it's also hard for us to understand that if we are in a natural process, things are going to work in an exponential way. Like we should think about all these 3 facts to understand why is this happening and what we can do about it. Another word that you might have heard very often is resilience, and also in the title of this talk. What is to be resilient? It's the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. So again, we have a quick change and a quick modification in our habits because people are dying. Can we recover quickly? Inertia. So also human beings, us human beings, we don't like very much changes. We can be like petrified. What is happening here? No. So sometimes it takes time, or we can be saying, no, this cannot be happening. It's very fun how, at least in Spain, we use the following sentence: we cannot stop economy. We cannot stop airplanes flying. No, of course you can. We have made it in the world in 2 weeks. 80% of the flights stop, so you can. So maybe the sentence is, I wouldn't like the economy to stop. I would prefer the flights to continue as they used to be. This is a desire, while the verb to can has to do with real. So sometimes we try to say no to real happening, isn't it? So resilience is, again, to be positive but realistic. And then you are not thinking about possibilities or desires, but you are somehow realizing what is going on, so you can make something real to change if you can. If not, you accept, right? So this has to do with resilience, the ability of a substance or object to spring back into shape, elasticity. So here in this slide, yeah, some of the 6 domains of resilience have to do with your health. You must sleep, do exercise, eat well. Reasoning, you have to think positively about anticipation and also with realism, okay? Tenacity, you have to be persistent, realistic optimism, okay? Collaboration, this is also very important to understand how to solve this problem. If we can, this cannot be done by one individual, okay? Vision is also important. And for having vision, you have to understand. It's not a question of desire. It's a question of understanding what is happening here. We are animals, part of nature. If we disappear, the virus will go on. Okay, the 6 domains of resilience, very theoretical. The question is, are we resilient? It's an individual question. You must be 23, 22, I don't know your age. So I don't know, for each case, life might have given you kicks, okay? That you have to react, and that create traumas, because somehow a kick is hard. So as you get old, more and more things, good and bad, will happen to you, and you will discover how resilient you are, how you react. But this is a question for our society, our global community. As human species beings, as a species, the human being, are we resilient? And I would say that for us, for Europeans, probably for in the States, in Canada, in many places, we are more in the comfort than in the effort. What I would mean is that we put more emphasis in our rights than in our duties. We have many things for granted, maybe. So let me put another example of something that might happen. I'm a telecom engineer, specialized in microwave and space communication, and this is the event of a solar storm will happen. I don't know when, but it will eventually happen at some point, as the one that happened in 1855, right? So in 1855, the Carrington event happened, and northern lights could be seen from Spain. Northern lights, you know, northern lights you see in the North Pole. Because a solar storm is an ejection of corona mass from the sun that if it hits the Earth, you can see there the magnetopause, the shield created by the magnetic field of the Earth protects us from the solar wind. But if the solar wind is very strong, some part of this wind will first get through the North and South poles to the Earth, but eventually even they will get through the equator. And these charges, this solar wind, if it is very strong, will make all our satellites to collapse and all our digital communications to disappear for some hours. Can you imagine? Or the airplanes, or your digital data, or your computers, or your movies in your hard disk, or if you have any money in the bank, this is a digital number, it will disappear. Oh, and this will take no time. If it happened, a solar storm as the one of 1859, today, wow, this is a big problem with no time to reply. Just to say tomorrow, no data at all. We need to recover. And this can happen any time. Are we resilient if we are so dependent on technology, on digital technology? And maybe we are not that much. Okay. So what can we do? Let me again highlight some trade-offs. We have a trade-off. We have to choose the optimum situation, because we cannot choose both at the maximum level. We need to choose whether economy or health. If we all start working, and as the first question in the beginning, you want to go out, it's summertime, we want to go for holidays, we want to move economy, we want to work. What is going to happen to our health and to the health of society? What is going to happen to the health system that cannot afford that many people going to urgency at the same time? Also, another trade-off, rights and duties. You must know that all the rights were taken not for granted, but after a lot of fighting against the kings, against in the Middle Ages, the masters, against the church. Another virus crisis was in the La Peste Negra, the black virus. I don't know the translation into English. And also, you know what happened then? That it was the Middle Ages. Okay, so the people ruling the cities, which were basically the people in the church and the kings, said, this is happening because you are not working. You should work more. And this is happening because you are sinners. So people started to work more just to stop the virus spreading. And they started to, with this, to hit their backs because they were sinners. This was even worse because they were working more and they were getting sick and dying. And the people making, scars in their back because they were bleeding, then these bags that were propagating the virus could do more easily. So more people were dying, but they didn't know because they thought it was because they were sinners and they were not working properly. But you know what happened? That then they started to see that the kings and the chiefs of the church were dying also, and they were not supposed to be sinners or bad people. So they say, what's going on? They are lying to us. So this epoch was very bad. Roughly 40% of people in Europe die in 2 years or 3 years time. But then it was also a break to a new era, from the dark Middle Ages to the rebirth. It's a nice name, Renacimiento, which was like the beginning of illustration and the French Revolution and so on. So these epochs are nice because change happened there. So we will see, but there is always a fight between duties, rights, and all that. And again, technology, advanced comfort, and what about nature? What could we do with nature? Cannot nature live with technology? Cannot technology respect nature? I believe it can. But maybe we are not putting it in the right way. So there is this question that I like very much that says, do you remember when we were living above our means? This is a question that you ask yourself or to a friend when a crisis, an economic crisis, comes to your house, to your family, to your country, and maybe the previous year you were going out every night, spending a lot of money, and then you see in the new time that you have no money. You cannot go out, you cannot waste money, and then you say, do you remember last year when we were spending a lot of money? We were somehow, without knowing, living above our means. Now maybe the question that we will have to ask ourselves in some years is, do you remember when we were living above our rights? Do not take rights for granted. There are some rights that have always rights go together with some duties. If you are not responsible, you lose your duties. Probably you will lose some of the rights you believe they were for granted. Okay, maybe. So maybe the points to face this big problem in the right direction is to think in the long term, not in the short term. Also to think in a systemic way. We are part of a big system where we are part of the nature. We are part of society. We cannot be selfish. We cannot continue doing things so individually. We need an ecosystemic thinking, okay? And also we need to think about non-linear processes, okay? Hola, sorry. I'm in lectures. Okay, sorry. This is my small kid. Sorry. I'm sorry, I have 3 kids and the smaller one wanted to make some comments on the class. No, I don't know if this is about the COVID. Okay, and the 4th point, sorry, was about the non-linear processes. If we want to face this problem maybe in a clever way, we have to think that linear thinking doesn't work because these are non-linear processes. This is why I'm drawing this. It's like a psychedelic animation, a psychedelic GIF that you can see it's like a hand that from any finger, another hand comes out. This is called in wave function. I work with waves, with electromagnetic waves. It's the Huygens principle because any wavefront can create more waves. Any point of the wavefront is another wave source. So somehow, if we behave as a society, we behave as a group, we can understand that each part makes the whole is inside each part. It's like a holistic point of view that maybe is also one of the key points to understand what is happening. I don't know. Also, this drives me to the ancients because I have had the chance to know many aborigines from different countries, from South America, Australia, different islands, also in Europe. We still have some connection with the ancients, and they were very connected to nature. For them, all these facts, you don't need to explain to them. They know they are part of nature, and they know how nature works because they never split with nature. So there must be a trade-off between advanced comfort technology with respect and care to nature. This is a nice picture taken in Australia that you can see a radio telescope to connect with the planetary missions that are in the solar system, the Voyager and all these deep space missions, and the Aborigines, right? That you could say, okay, the Aborigines are not technologically so advanced because of their habits, their culture. But maybe what is too advanced? Is to go against nature, to put nature aside? I don't know. Maybe we are wrong. Okay, this lady, Lynn Ostrom, won the Nobel Prize in 2009, sorry. It was the first of only 2 women so far to win the Nobel Prize in economics. Okay, and basically she died in 2012. She worked about economic governance, especially the commons. The commons are the cultural and natural resources accessible to all members of a society, the commonwealth, okay? Natural resources that groups of people, communities, whatsoever, manage for individual and collective benefit. Okay, so this woman was working from an idea which was the tragedy of the commons. The tragedy of the commons basically states that us as humans cannot deal with the common and collective benefit properly because selfish is too strong. So this is something that was from the old studies, and this lady studied the people, the ancient people, and showed that many people were able in history, many communities. She showed that there are cases where humans were not trapped and helpless amid this missing supplies. They were able to manage the resources properly. And you know, one of the ancient groups that she studied was the one in Spain, in southeast of Spain, where I come from. It was a group of people that they were farmers. They were working with the plants and with the animals, okay, agriculture. and also Nepal, Switzerland, and Japan, Indonesia. And her book is this one, Governing the Commons. So it's nice that this woman pointed out that this has happened. So we should be able to do as they did, to respect nature and to manage commons in a proper way. Okay. So I said the tragedy of the common comes from a 1833 essay, and basically it says that it's like a theoretical situation that says that shared resource system where individuals acting independently according to their own self-interest behave contrary to the common good of all users by depleting or spoiling the shared resource through their collective action. It's like if we are fitted to unsuccess in this. Okay, this also has to do with the Green Revolution that I want you also to have a look at this. It was the point where we started to extract more and more from nature, like if nature has no ending, okay? Without maybe respecting some of the nature laws, okay? So to finish my presentation, because it might look like very negative so far, like if I'm just spoiling your day, but it's not my purpose. Let me tell you also that somehow life is like a tragic comedy. It's a mix between a comedy and a drama. And we basically play a character in life. Okay? So in life, there is a mirth or joyful. There can be also compassion. There can be empathy and also suffering. And this is living. Living is to get the resources and to know that an optimal process doesn't exist. So we need to suffer to understand and to be empathic. So empathy, compassion, not being selfish has to do a lot with what is happening. And maybe we are in a very individual era, isn't it? The individual is given a lot of emphasis. Also, I recommend you to see the movie Contact that comes from Carl Sagan's book, and then Robert Zemeckis made the movie, because somehow there's another Eleanor Arroway, that is the character. The real person behind that is Jill Carter. They were making the SETI project, like looking for search of extraterrestrial intelligence, right? I think this movie also has to do with what is happening with COVID. You know, in the end, it's an exploration about our limits, about the resources, about our duties, about our desires, and about reality, okay? So basically the SETI project are trying to look for intelligence in the outer space, because maybe intelligent life on Earth is now a bit problematic, isn't it? Because the people that govern and rule the world, maybe what they are doing is not intelligent, because they are thinking very selfish. I don't know. So we need to fight again for being intelligent, reading more, studying more, speaking, arguing properly. And maybe now everything is like a TV show. You know, Trump, I think, comes from a TV show. Okay, so now to finish, let me put this nice video that is about 32 metronomes that are going to synchronize. I don't know if you are aware what a metronome is. It's basically a machine that makes this pick, pack, pick, pack, pick, pack at a proper frequency. The timing is very exact. Okay, so when you have two metronomes, they can be in phase, pick, pack, pick, pack, pick, pack. Same frequency, the same phase, right, left, but not necessarily. They can be like this, or any different phases. Okay, so what you're gonna see in the video, I think is very nice. At 32, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 4, 32 metronomes. Someone is gonna kick off them, and something's gonna happen. So, Ben, how was that I could put the YouTube video? I put there, and then I share the screen, isn't it? Was this like it?
I don't know whether it works out of the presentation.
Yeah. I
see the YouTube.
Yeah, okay. So okay, I have to go now because okay, I have to go now to change the screen, isn't it?
Yeah, might be.
Okay.
You have to stop the one you shared, and then
okay,
take the next one.
Let me see. And there was something.
Now we see YouTube.
Okay, and with the sound there was something as well, isn't it? Because if I play, can you hear it?
No, it's without sound.
Okay, so for the sound there was something.
You probably have to stop the sharing and then do it again. And there's a box, a small one on the lower left corner. Share the sound
okay.
of the.
Oh, the computer. That was. Sorry, Bernd. You told me the other day, but maybe.
I had several problems on Tuesday as well.
Okay. So let me see if you can now see the video and listen to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if it works.
Yep.
Yeah. They are not in phase. They are synchronizing, right? In less than 2 minutes, the 32 metronomes have synchronized. What happened there? Are they military metronomes? Have they been trained? Have they consciousness? No, not at all. You know, what happened there is that each metronome creates a vibration, a wave. And also all the metronomes are somehow connected. If you see, they are over a sliding table. If the table couldn't propagate waves, then this experiment wouldn't work, because then the waves could not propagate from one metronome to the other. There couldn't be coupling. You need coupling. You need interchange of information, right? So basically information is interchanged between these 32 non-living objects. And finally, eventually, they reach to a point of minimum energy. It's like when you put a ball above a mountain, the ball will go eventually to the valley. It won't go again to another mountain, because the point of minimum energy is the one that drives the system to the stable point. And the stable point of a group is the one with synchronization. And this is physics. This is not psychology, this is physics. So what I'm trying to say is that we are a system of people with nature, and we need somehow to synchronize. We must go the same direction. And for sure, the direction shouldn't be driven by humans, because we are part of nature. We should understand nature. We must understand virus. We must understand nature. We must understand these processes, these nonlinear processes, the timing. So we can synchronize with this timing, not with our timing, okay? Maybe this has to be unwind, because this is the optimal point from an energy point of view. The other options are suffering. We will suffer much. Okay, I don't know if you can also see this. Let me see. You see my screen again? Okay, this is somehow related as well. Okay. Well, I could spend hours, watching at this because it's beautiful. These are living animals. These are birds. You can see also in fishes. You can in group. How have they trained to make this choreography? Are they conscious about that? It's something more simple. It's like when you are driving a bicycle. Your own body tells you when you're gonna fall one side and the other, and you just react. So when you feel the vibrations of your brotherhood, then you can react to this vibration. But for that, you need to notice this information. You must be empathic. Empathy is one of the key points. Okay, so I finished this saying that okay, I'm talking about Spain. Spain, as you've said in the beginning, we are suffering the strike of the virus very, very hardly. One of the countries in the world with the highest amount of dead people. Also, our economy is going to be stricken, very, very hardly. So, what to do? It's like the Mar Menor issue. Are we going to think in the long term? Are we going to think in the short term? What is better? Rights, duties, economy, health? I don't have the answer. But maybe it's not a question of our desire, but it's a question of understanding the laws of nature. And if we are not aligned to nature, maybe we cannot decide that much. Maybe it's our arrogance. We think we are the center of the universe, okay? This is why the other title was Etymology Tales from the Ancient, Foolishness in the Area of Smartphones. You can see the slides now? Yeah? You see the slide? Okay. So there are some words that can be an offense, but I would like to go to etymology. I'm not saying we are like that, but maybe we should think about that. One is idiot. Idiot.
No, excuse me. No, we see still YouTube.
Okay. Okay. So let me go to here now. Yeah. Okay. Exactly. Thank you, Ben. So I was saying that etymology of some bad words, they are not that bad if we think about the meaning. So do not take it personally. Idiot comes from the Latins, from the Romans. This word was used for the people that were thinking about their own things, They were not thinking about the commonwealth. Selfish is the same as selfish now. To be an idiot, okay? Also, dumb or fool. Fool is crazy, dumb. In Spanish, we have imbecile, which means someone that cannot. It comes from the Greek, no, from the Latin. Okay, imbecile means the one that cannot take the throne. The throne is only for those who are responsible and can rule and guide the community. These are the old people with experience that can rule and can lead the community. Otherwise, you cannot have the throne. Throne is Bacchus. Imbecile means no throne for you, man. You are not ready. You are a kid. You are a fool. You are dumb, right? And stupidity comes from stupefaction. You get petrified when problems come. So as individuals, it's not moment for idiot, fools, or stupid people. As society, we need to behave thinking in long term, thinking in non-linearly, and thinking in the whole, in order to be wise, clever, and to be rational. But human is very irrational, and I say life is a tragic comedy in the end. Okay, so as concluding remarks, long-term thinking versus short-term, systematic thinking versus individual, selfish, ecosystemic thinking versus people who think that economy and ecology doesn't go together, are independent, and non-linear processes must be taken into account and not think in a linear way, right? And to optimize these trade-offs: economy, health, right, duties, technology, nature, comfort, and effort. So is a hard situation where we are living, okay? And probably empathy and love is the only rational mean to be resilient, to adapt, and to subsistence. Because in the end, this is a problem of sustainability. In the 21st century, maybe this word refers generally to the capacity for the biosphere and human civilization to coexist in the long term. Look, human and biosphere. If we are part of the biosphere, how is that we can go against our own home? This has no meaning, has no sense. So we need a change of paradigm. We need to change. So because I'm a surfer, I wanted to finish my talk saying that we must surf the waves of life, and now we have some waves of a virus. And so my last question is, what energy do you worship? So I wanna put this last video to finish, because I'm a surfer, so I think you are gonna like. This is the worship that I do. This is the one of surfing life the best we can. So let me change to this. Okay. You listen? Okay. Okay, I go back to the screen. Okay, PowerPoint. Okay, so that's the end of my lecture. Thank you very much, and I'm open for questions. I want to hear you.
Okay, thank you. So, questions from your side. So, what about the surfing spots? Some was probably Saint-Nazaire, I guess.
Yeah, in Spain, we don't have big waves in the Mediterranean, but you have to go to the North Sea, to the Cantabria.
Yeah, well, there were these real big ones that probably Saint-Nazaire in Portugal also.
Yeah, Nazaré, yeah. Also, the Canary Islands is a very nice place to surf. Yeah, like the Hawaii in Europe. Yeah. In Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you had on Tuesday you had the very tough question. Would it be reasonable to lock down the economy completely for a month and then just get rid of the stuff worldwide? What do you think? That's direction to the students. So just lock it down for a week, for 4 weeks, and then you're done.
It is all a question of what's it called? Sustained damage after a complete lockdown. With economy, it is like that. The more you lock it down, the severer the side effects are, and they kind of grow exponentially. Or at least I think that it is like that. I'm not an expert on this.
Yeah, I think you are right. Yeah. It's a balance.
There is a question in the chat. Do you see a change in the mindset of the people in Spain?
Okay, I think what I'm seeing is that basically, maybe this answer is very simple, but I can distinguish two types of group of people. The ones that somehow have felt close to them, to their family, to their friends, what COVID can make you and in your life, maybe killing someone of your loved ones or making them to be sick forever, a chronic disease, or maybe you've lost your job. So these people are feeling close some of the consequences, direct or indirect, from this health virus, right? From this wave. And the second type are those ones that we see that our lives somehow have changed because we have to stay at home, we cannot go to classes whatsoever, but don't really know if this is for real, this is a joke or whatsoever. So maybe some of these people need to suffer in their bones these consequences to realize that this is not a joke. I don't know. Or maybe other people, without having suffered, they can feel it. So in the end, this is empathy, isn't it? So empathic is many things. It's try to be in the bones of other people. So it's not that difficult to find someone in Spain, I don't know, in Germany, that somehow has lost his or her job or has lost someone. I don't know. But you can look to the face of this person and ask him or her, what is going on? How are you? What happened to you? What can I do for you? Or you just can think, if the wave doesn't touch me, why do I need to suffer? Okay. So in order to answer to this question of Tamina, did you see a change in the mindset of the people in Spain while COVID? Some of them, yes, others not at all. Many people are thinking about going to holidays and partying. And this is nice. I love party and I love holidays. But the problem is, I like parties for many summers, not only for this one, right? Like resilience, empathy, what is as individuals, but also as a society. So, and this is very important, what is being addressed there. One level is you as individual, another is your group, your family, your friends, another is society, another is country, Europe, and the world. So different levels, different moments. I cannot really reply to your question, but I would like to see empathy and resilience in the whole in the whole world, because I really believe this. I also said last Tuesday that, listen, if all the world at once, all together, synchronized, would have a stop staying at home, but the people that have to work because essential works have to continue, but the rest of the people, students, kids, old people at home, and those who can work from home at home for only 1 month, all the world together, I believe that the virus would have been eradicated, because we would have seen the focus of the virus. We would have stopped them, treating the people that are sick, letting the people that have to die because there is nothing to do to them. I don't know, but I really believe in 1 month. Okay, there is a shock for the economy in 1 month, but imagine if we have to be like that for years or for many months. So I really believe that us as human beings, this thing of synchronizing, of feeling the waves of others, of feeling the feelings and being empathic, is we still have to work a lot about that. We are very individual. So I think my answer is no, not at all, not yet.
I think that this COVID is a very nice challenge. Putting on the mask, yeah, what you see everywhere now and there, has something to do with, well, what is the reason of doing it? It's not that it protects me; it is protecting you. Not here at the video or so, but when you go outside, because you're not spreading the virus. That is something you are taking the position of the other and try to protect him or her. So that is empathy. And empathy isn't that always sounds so nice and psychological. Empathy is that's not sympathy. Sympathy has something to do with I like you. Empathy is something that I take the role of the other, the perspective, and consider it. It's a strategic idea. Yeah. So if you're playing chess, you need empathy. You have to consider what is your enemy doing next. Why is he moving the tower to this position? Why is he jumping with the horse or the king or the queen to this position? What is he or she going to do? That is empathy. Yeah. And you take it strategically. So the idea of using this or using the Corona app is, in a way, it is a empathy and strategical mean to protect partly yourself, yeah, but mainly all the others which might be infected, and that is empathy. Yeah, and so that's we'll see what will happen with wearing masks. Some people are very fed off with it. Others work with it since years in the health system, yeah, and they don't complain. They clean your teeth, or when you go to the dentist, or they do the surgeries in hospitals, and so on and so on. So it's just normal. And others complain, say, well, it's so crazy to wear it. Yeah? So it's, we'll see. So it might be reasonable to upload the Corona warning app. So there were 1/3 did it, 2/3 didn't. So it's not a perfect solution. It doesn't keep you, it doesn't guarantee that you will stay safe and healthy, but might be an option and help more people to stay safe and healthy. Yeah. Other questions? Okay. Looks like it is well done for today. Thank you, Jose, for the lecture. And looking forward to meeting you in Cartagena when it is allowed to travel again in our European University of Technology Consortium. We are all quite nervous to see what the European Commission is deciding about our proposal and our intention to work together. Yeah. Thank you for this interesting lecture and bringing new perspectives on this Corona and how it is connected to other things. I think we can't. It's always a problem with systemic thinking and just isolating topics and then don't see the whole thing. So that is always good to have this perspective. Okay.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure and an honor.
We are happy to have you. Next week, we have the presentation by Gabriele Bischoff. Gabriele Bischoff is member of the European Parliament since this period, and she is coming from the perspective of workers' rights and labor unions. And in the Parliament, she is also working about fair pay and good working conditions. And I had the pleasure to see her last weekend for 2 or 3 days. And we were discussing quite a few topics of, well, in Germany it is at the moment Tönnies and Wiesenhof, so it is slaughterhouses and meat packaging, and the working condition there. And she already before intended to tell us about these labor conditions and for people who are in agriculture, for asparagus and strawberries picking, coming from Romania and so on to Germany or from Poland. And she will tell you about their situation at the moment and what this lockdown and economic situation is, is the consequences for these type of workers. And I'm very interested and curious to see what she will tell you. Jose, I hope you can now spend an hour with your family.
Yeah.
Bring your little son to bed or so. Oh,
I wish.
I wish, yeah. Probably still busy, different way of living in south of Spain with siesta and different cultures. And that is very interesting. I think that is one of the very interesting aspects of Europe, that we try to become a political union by keeping and staying with all these cultural differences, keeping the languages and the various cultures, and that is a very interesting project to me. Okay, thank you everybody for attending, for watching the lecture. I hope you have a good weekend. Sooner or later, you will probably go for surfing, and the weather will probably be fine down in the south of Spain. See you all next week, and have a good evening. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.